everyone, my name is Troy, and in today's video I'm going to be doing a comparison between this Yamaha DT200 engine and this Yamaha Blaster 200 engine. Stay tuned. So I want to go over a brief history of these engines. This engine came out of a Yamaha DT200, which was produced from 1984 to 1988. This engine came out of a Yamaha Blaster, which was produced from 1988 to 2006. The Yamaha Blaster engine was actually derived from this particular DT200 engine, and there are still some remnants of the DT200 on the air-cooled Yamaha Blaster. The most obvious difference between these engines is how they're cooled. The DT200 is liquid-cooled, while the Yamaha Blaster is air-cooled. Another big difference in these engines is the power valve. The DT200 has a power valve, while the Yamaha Blaster does not. The DT200 has a factory horsepower rating of 32. The Blaster 200 has a factory horsepower rating of 17. Physically, these engines are pretty similar. They're both 11 inches wide from clutch cover to stator cover, and 12.5 inches from the rear mount to the front mount. However, the DT200 is only 11 inches tall, while the Yamaha Blaster 200 is 11 3/4 inches tall. The DT200 engine weighs 46.9 pounds. The Yamaha Blaster engine weighs 49.7 pounds, which is almost 3 pounds heavier than the DT200. They are both in the same configuration and are both dry. Now let's take a look at the heads. As you can see, the DT200 head is a hemispherical head, while the Yamaha Blaster has a conical design. The DT200 head weighs 1 pound 8 ounces. The Yamaha Blaster head weighs 4 pounds. Looking from this top view, you can see the DT200's water jackets and the Blaster 200's air-cooled fins. Both cylinders have a standard bore of 66 millimeters, and both can go to a maximum bore of 68.5 millimeters. The DT200 cylinder weighs 5 pounds 7 ounces. The Yamaha Blaster cylinder weighs 7 pounds 1 ounce. From this angle, you can see the intake ports are the same design. The reed cages from these engines are interchangeable. Looking at the exhaust side, you can see that the flanges would be exactly the same. The ports are the same, however the DT200 has a power valve which changes the duration of the exhaust port. And now looking at the bottom of the cylinders, we can see that the transfer ports are exactly the same as well. Now we are looking at the clutch side. The clutch covers are the same casting, however the Yamaha Blaster's clutch cover has not been machined for the water pump and has not been machined for the oil injection cable that comes from the throttle. Removing the plastic covers, we expose the oil pump and the water pump on the DT200 and the oil pump on the Yamaha Blaster. This blank area on the Yamaha Blaster is where the water pump would be. Underneath the clutch covers is the clutch basket, and the primary drive gear would be in roughly this area. On the DT200, the primary reduction is 52 to 17, while on the Yamaha Blaster it's 71 to 22. The transmissions in these engines are different, but they are interchangeable. I'll put the gear ratios on the screen. The pistons are interchangeable between these two engines, as well as the crankshafts. The crankshafts have a stroke of 57 millimeters. The stator covers are interchangeable. The only difference is the Blaster has this tab to hold the stator wires. Looking from this side, you can also see the DT200's RPM drive. The Yamaha Blaster engine cases were never machined for it. With the stator covers removed, we can now see the flywheels. They appear to be the same, however they are different. The DT200 has the pickup on the outside of the flywheel, while the Yamaha Blaster's pickup is on the inside. The DT200 also has a neutral safety switch. The Yamaha Blaster does not. You can see more remnants of the DT200 in this blank cutout where the DT200 has a wire and the Yamaha Blaster does not. So that was my comparison of these two engines. If I missed anything, leave it in the comments below. If you liked the video, please hit the like button. Thanks for watching.